This is me riding my bike. Cycling, filmmaking, rafting and photography are some of my favourite hobbies. It's pretty cool to have fun hobbies you can do to keep occupied in a pandemic. Except, I couldn't do mine. You see, last year in March, I became really sick. I was diagnosed with COVID and then eventually long COVID, so I decided to keep a vlog. So yeah, I've been quite sick for a few days. Shortness of breath, chest pains, pins and needles in my fingers and my lips as well. I feel weird and they get pins and needles and I get quite numb. I had the worst headache of my life for like a good few days solid. I could only really stay on my feet for like a few seconds, then I'm all lightheaded and stuff. You know, you got all these different symptoms and stuff, but on top of that, got a weird painful feeling in my eyeballs and a really distracting, tingling feeling in like pins and needles in my lips and stuff. I'm not really feeling too great, so I'm trying to overheat. So I'm gonna go back to bed. Just recording that short clip left me with a fever and unable to get out of bed for the rest of the day. And that's pretty much how my life would be for a very, very long time if I attempted to do pretty much anything. And the more I'm out of bed, the more sick I get, and then I have to go straight back to bed, and then that lets me run down and out of the game for the rest of the day. Well, one thing I've noticed, which is quite weird, is no matter how much sleep that I get, I still have these massive bags under my eyes. Now, not like, I don't look as like I have the kind of sickness you would get with a cold or flu. It's like a really weird feeling, and I feel like a weird feeling in my face and my lips and stuff. And these weird bags that are just bizarre. It feels completely different to any cold or flu. And when I see people on Twitter or like on the TV and stuff that have been diagnosed with coronavirus, the ones that are not feeling too great, I've noticed they have the same kind of look around their eyes, which is quite weird. I am having extreme fatigue. Like, I've never been so tired in my entire life. It's ridiculous. It didn't take long before I was far too weak to keep up the vlogs. When I had the energy, I checked the NHS website to see what I should do. It told me to dial 101. So I dialed 101, where I was greeted by a voice recording that said on repeat in a very serious tone that unless I needed urgent medical attention, to hang up the phone. So I laid the phone next to me in bed and I waited for well over an hour. But by this point, we were in lockdown now. So I decided it was best to hang up the phone in case there was elderly people in the queue behind me that urgently needed help too. And basically I would repeat this process almost every day for a week. A few months later, I was able to spend more time up and about, and I was strong enough to talk to people. Some of my friends also have long COVID. With very little information out there about the condition, we would talk and we would discuss our very strange symptoms.
There were so many weird symptoms actually that I didn't expect. For me, I sometimes get like a small fire pain inside my head. And I'm like, that's such a weird, very, very specific area of like a hot pain. And then another really weird symptom was having a sudden numb limb, like completely numb. And it wouldn't be from like sitting on it, I'd be completely normal, sitting up straight, and I'd stand up and suddenly one of my legs would just not register, that it wouldn't move. So you end up kind of hobbling on one leg. Yeah, that felt nothing like the flu. I had bizarre neurological symptoms, like temporary paralysis of the limbs and random spasms. I was really shocked that I found myself so sick. I had no previous health conditions, and my idea of a fun day off is a 60-mile bike ride. It's been 11 months now, and I feel like I've lost a large chunk of my life. The extreme brain fog means I haven't been able to even read or learn any new skills. Luckily, I'm feeling much better now. I walk between 3 to 5 miles each day with this cuddle monster. I even recently got out for a long overdue bike ride. I'm lucky because I'm the first of my friends with long COVID to start to feel better. Thousands of people in the UK have found themselves suffering from long COVID during this pandemic. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. This was nothing like the flu. It was nothing like I could have ever imagined. Stay safe, protect yourselves, as lockdowns are bad enough without having the ability to do your hobby stripped away from you. Trust that brighter days are coming. As for me, they're already here.